There will be moments in your life where you feel completely weak. Not physically, but mentally. You wake up tired, even after sleeping. You lose interest in things that once mattered. You promise yourself change, but by the end of the day, you're back in the same habits. And in those moments, the biggest lie you start to believe is this: that discipline is only for strong people, that you must feel ready before you act, that motivation must come first. But the truth is far more brutal. Discipline is not built when you feel strong. It is built when you feel weak, lost, tired, and unmotivated. That is where it is forged. Most people fail because they misunderstand discipline. They think discipline is a feeling, something you wake up with, something that comes when life is easy. But discipline has nothing to do with how you feel. It is a system, a decision, a structure you follow, regardless of your emotional state. The problem is not that you are weak. The problem is that you are waiting to feel strong before you act, and that moment will never come. Because strength is not the cause of discipline. Discipline is the cause of strength. Look at your life closely. Every time you said, "I'll start tomorrow," you delayed your own growth. Every time you avoided discomfort, you trained your mind to escape pressure. And every time you chose comfort over effort, you built a pattern of weakness. Not because you are incapable, but because your mind has been conditioned to seek ease instead of challenge. This is how weakness grows. Quietly, repeatedly, through small decisions that seem harmless in the moment but become destructive over time. The real danger is not failure. The real danger is becoming comfortable with a version of yourself that you know is below your potential. That silent awareness that you could be more, but you are not acting. That is what destroys people slowly. And the longer you stay there, the harder it becomes to break out. Discipline begins the moment you stop negotiating with yourself. When you say you will do something, and you do it. Not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. That is the foundation. Not motivation, not inspiration, but obedience to your own word. Because every time you break a promise to yourself, your self-respect decreases. And once self-respect is low, discipline becomes almost impossible. So how do you build discipline when you feel weak? You start small, not because small actions are powerful, but because they are repeatable. And repetition is what rewires the mind. You don't need to change your whole life in one day. That is another mistake people make. They try to transform everything overnight, and when they fail, they quit completely. Instead, you focus on one thing, one action, one promise, and you keep it. If you say you will wake up at a certain time, you do it. No excuses. If you say you will work for 1 hour, you do it. No distractions. If you say you will avoid something that weakens you, you avoid it. Not sometimes, every time. This is how discipline is built, through consistency in small, controlled actions. Understand this clearly. You will not feel good while building discipline. You will feel resistance. Your mind will fight you. It will give you reasons to stop. It will tell you to rest, to delay, to quit. That is not a sign that you are failing. That is a sign that you are breaking old patterns, and breaking patterns is uncomfortable. Always. The strongest individuals are not those who feel the least resistance. They are the ones who act despite it. They do what needs to be done, even when they don't want to, especially when they don't want to. That is the difference. Another truth most people avoid is this: your environment is either strengthening your discipline or destroying it. The people around you, the content you consume, the habits you repeat daily, all of these shape your mind. If you are constantly surrounded by distractions, negativity, and comfort, you will struggle to stay disciplined. Not because you are weak, but because your environment is designed for weakness. So you must take control, remove what drains you, limit what distracts you, and build an environment that supports your growth. This does not mean your life will suddenly become easy. It means you will give yourself a better chance to stay consistent. You must also accept that discipline is lonely. Not everyone will understand your change. Some people will question you. Others will try to pull you back to your old habits because your growth makes them uncomfortable. It reminds them of what they are not doing. But you cannot allow that to stop you, because this is your life, your responsibility, your direction. There will be days when you fail, days when you break your routine, days when you feel like giving up completely. And in those moments, the most important thing is not perfection. It is recovery, how fast you return to your path. Because discipline is not about never falling, it is about never staying down. Stop chasing motivation. It is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days you will feel it. Most days you won't. If your actions depend on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. Discipline removes that dependency. It allows you to act regardless of how you feel, and that is what creates real change. You must also understand the power of identity. If you see yourself as weak, you will act accordingly. If you believe you lack discipline, you will prove that belief through your actions. So you must change how you see yourself, not through empty affirmations, but through action. Every disciplined action you take becomes evidence. Evidence that you are changing, that you are capable, that you are in control. This is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming reliable. Someone who can trust themselves. Someone who does what they say. Someone who moves forward even when it is hard. At the end of the day, nobody is coming to save you. No one will build your discipline for you. No one will force you to become better. That responsibility is yours. And while that may sound harsh, it is also powerful. Because it means you are in control. You don't need to wait. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need perfect conditions. You only need to start, right where you are, with what you have. Because the version of you that you want to become is built through what you do daily. Not what you think about, not what you plan, but what you execute. So the next time you feel weak, remember this. That is your moment. Not to quit. Not to delay, but to act. Even in the smallest way. Because that is how discipline begins. Not in strength, but in weakness. And if you can act in those moments, when everything inside you is telling you not to, then you are already becoming stronger than most people will ever be. Stay consistent, stay focused, and most importantly, stay honest with yourself. Because discipline is not something you find, it is something you build every single day.